Hey everyone, this is Mike with Real Life Counseling, and today I've got a really powerful technique. This is to overcome any kind of fear or anxiety that you associate with a particular event, or even more so, with a place. Now, let me give you an example of what this means. We associate certain places and certain tasks with fear or anxiety, right? An example might be if you're in school and you're taking a test. The classroom might have some built-in fear. That's where you take your tests, right? Going out. Some people, when they think about going to a bar or a club, get very anxious, get very nervous because they're meeting members of the opposite sex or the same sex. Um, the environment can be very overstimulating. Loud noise, the lights, people milling about. It can feel very overwhelming. Um, Being on an airplane, people have these phobias, right? So there's a lot of things going on a job interview, right? There's a lot of things that cause fear and anxiety. Now, what you can do is making a different association. So instead of associating fear, you associate joy and happiness. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. If you can be in the place physically, let me give you a great example. Let's say you're nervous about going to a bar, right, or a club. The first 2 or 3 times, maybe you go without the intent of meeting someone. The intent is to feel comfortable. Now, you may feel a little awkward, but here's what you do. You go into the club or bar, you find a seat by yourself, and you listen, on your phone. Maybe you download a comedy routine, right? Maybe Chris Rock, right? Maybe there's some really great comedian that you love. And here you are, you're sitting in this location that normally would cause you anxiety. You're looking around, you get a little nervous, feeling overstimulated, and now you're listening to this hysterical comedy routine and you start laughing in an environment that you're nervous about. You are trying to take the humor and overlap the fear. So the fear disappears and the joy and the humor and the happiness remains. You're substituting a fear response with a relaxation and humor response. Let's say you're in school and you have access to a classroom. Now, this is much easier in college, right? So you're in college, and sometimes at night, the classrooms empty out, but the buildings are still open, and maybe you can actually find your classroom that you're going to be taking the test in that's not being used. Right? It's empty. So you go in, it's at night, maybe it's 8, 9 o'clock at night, the building's still open. You sit in the classroom and you listen to this comedy tape. And instead of associating the room and the environment with anxiety because of the exam, you're laughing. You spend maybe 20 minutes, 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes. And if you can do this 2 or 3 times, you're going to reassociate an environment that normally causes you fear with happiness and joy. It really is pretty remarkable. Now, there are some things that are difficult. Let's say an airplane. Well, you can't just rent out an airplane for about 20 minutes so you can sit on it and then get up and leave. So you may have to use imagination. You may have to use guided imagery. Maybe you go online and you pull up images and movies of planes, right? They have all sorts of things on the internet now. And you get your anxiety up a little bit. And then as you're watching the planes and the movement, and you can find all sorts of videos and all sorts of things these days. And as you're sitting there, maybe getting a little upset, you're also listening, you're watching it, but what you're hearing is the comedy tape. And you start to laugh and you start to joke as you're watching this anxiety-inducing event. Same thing with an interview. Now again, this is a little difficult because you have to interact when you're on an interview. But perhaps the whole interview process is anxiety-producing. So maybe maybe you role play with a friend, and then you interspice it. So you set it up as a friend. He's got the resume in front, and maybe before you say anything, you listen to the comedy. Then you have a little bit of a conversation. Then you tell your friend, "Hold on a minute. You listen to the comedy for 5 or 6 more minutes. Then you go back. It's a little awkward. That's not the way it would work in a real interview. But again, you're trying to desensitize yourself to an overstimulus environment and replace the fear and anxiety with comfort, with humor, with happiness, with joy. And this is how you do it. You're pairing the negative, fearful, anxiety-inducing situation and environment with a happy, funny, laughing, joyful stimulus, with the intent of exterminating the fear and anxiety and having it be replaced with the calm, happiness, and joy. So I want you to give this a try. This can actually really, really be very, very powerful. And if you have something that really causes you anxiety or fear, this could be just the thing that could take away that fear, or at least dramatically reduce it, kind of take the edge off and give you some confidence and comfort to be able to at least try it rather than avoiding it altogether. All right, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel. Be happy to have you. Welcome to the family. And if you'd like to be notified when new videos come out, please hit the bell and you'll know whenever a brand new video is uploaded. I see you next time.